Hey, what's going on, everyone? Axel here. Today we're going to talk about the rumor that's been going around this week that the PlayStation 5 is going to hit store shelves in late 2018. This was predicted by Capital Securities analyst Damian Tong, who correctly predicted the PlayStation 4 Slim and the PlayStation 4 Pro. I'm going to talk about why I don't think this is going to actually happen. If you want to hear the short version of the video, no, I don't think this is going to happen in 2018. If you want to hear why, stick around. I have a few talking points I'm going to go through. Now, the first of the three talking points I've written down is the most important. This is why it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because the install base of the PlayStation 4 is huge. It's doing so well. And the PlayStation 4, it's getting to be older now, but it's still not incredibly old. It's still not to the point where they have to move to another console. There's still plenty of time left in the life cycle of PlayStation 4 for them to milk this massive install base. Now, the PS4 is crushing the Xbox One in terms of sales, and it crushed the Wii U in terms of sales. We'll see about the Switch that just came out. But the PlayStation 4 is vastly ahead of the other consoles. It's doing so well. It's commanding the loyalty of big third-party developers. And because the install base is so huge, I don't think the threat of the Scorpio coming out later this year is something that Sony should worry about quite yet. Now, they might have reason to later, but as of right now, for the next couple years at least, the PlayStation 4's install base is so huge that even if the Xbox One Scorpio is massively more powerful, the big, huge third-party games are going to be made to scale down to the PlayStation 4 specs, just because the install base is so huge. There's so much money to be made. It's not like we're to the point to where third-party developers are going to give up on the PlayStation 4 and its massive install base. Not to mention the Xbox One, the Xbox One S, and the original Xbox One will also have decent install bases that will want those same games scaled down to that level, which is somewhat comparable to the PS4. Now, it's just way too early for developers to scrap the original versions of the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, and to scrap those and just make exclusive games for maybe the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One Scorpio, and then maybe the PS5 when it comes out. It's just way too early for that to happen. The install base it just doesn't make sense yet for Sony to throw the PS4 away right now. It just doesn't make sense. And even if worst case scenario happens and the Xbox One Scorpio is extremely popular in 2018 and starts to take over, Sony still can't release a PS5 in late 2018 because they just released the PS4 Pro in holiday 2016. 2 years would be seen as too soon. They would be repeating the same mistake that Sega made back in the day when they released the Sega Saturn and obsoleted the 32X way too soon. It made a lot of customers mad. They have to support the PS4 Pro for at least a little while. I think 2 years is probably too short of a time period. They probably got to go at least 3 or 4 years of support on that thing, and announcing a PS5 right now that's going to come out in 2015 would kill a lot of consumer confidence, and I think Sony is smarter than to do that. Point number 2. The best specs, having the best specs does not guarantee that you're going to crush the market. Just because the Xbox One Scorpio is coming on around the corner with better specs than the PS4 Pro doesn't mean that Sony necessarily needs to be in all-out panic mode right now. Just because it's more powerful does not mean it's necessarily going to be the winner of this current generation and start to take over. Now, it could, but it doesn't mean it's going to, and there's no reason right now for Sony to panic like that and to give up on the PS4. Look at the past. Look at past consoles. In most generations, the most powerful console has not been the winner of the generation. The original Xbox was more powerful than the PS2, but the PS2 dominated. The N64 was more powerful hardware-wise than the PS1, but the PS1 destroyed in that generation. The Wii was weaker than the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, but it won that generation. So just because your console is not as powerful doesn't mean it's going to lose lose the generation. And I think Sony can look at that fact and just have a little bit of comfort in sticking with the PS4 at least for another few years. Now, point number 3. Sony as a corporation is not doing that well. the PlayStation brand is doing amazing, but the corporation overall is not doing that well. And when you talk about creating a new console coming out with a PS5, there's a lot of R&D, a lot of expenses. It's a very, very expensive process, and it's just, does Sony want to do that right now? Do they have the funds and the financial stability to take the chance on a PS5 right now, to invest all that money in R&D that may or may not pay off in the future? I don't think they do. I don't think that it makes sense for them to take that risk right now, considering their financial state. The safer play from them is just to sit on the PS4 for now, keep milking that install base, get that safe profit that they know they're going to make in the next few years off of the massive install base of the PS4, and just stick with that for a while. There's no reason to panic yet. Now, do I think that Sony needs to go ahead and get started behind the scenes on some type of PS5? Yes, but it doesn't mean they have to strain themselves financially and stretch themselves to get it out quickly. Sony does need to, maybe in the next year or two, needs to start working on next gen console, because when your console starts to get up to 5 years, 5-year mark, you know, it's going to start to wane, and they've got to have some kind of backup plan there in case the Xbox One Scorpio does do really well. But the PS4 is popular enough and huge enough that I don't think they need to panic yet, and I think they're fine with doing a slow promotion of the PS5, and instead of stretching themselves financially, let's just wait, see how the Scorpio does, start working on the PS5 in the background, but maybe wait until 2019 or 2020 to release it. There's no reason for them to just look at what Xbox is doing in panic and say, oh my gosh, the Scorpio is coming out, it's more powerful than the PS4 Pro, oh my gosh, we got to get something out by 2018. No, they don't have to do that. They'll be fine. Sony has a great install base now. The PlayStation brand is too popular for them to panic right now. So they need to just see how the Xbox Scorpio does in 2018 and plan accordingly after that. Get started on something now in the background, maybe in the next year, but they don't need to kill themselves. They'll be fine. The PS4 is fine as is. So guys, that's my opinion. Please comment below. Let me know what you think about this topic. If you think the PS5 is going to come out in 2018, or if you don't think it's going to come out in 2018 like me. I think realistically we will probably see it in maybe 2019 or 2020. So guys, yep, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe so you can see more content from me like this in the future. That's all for today. You all have a good one. Take care.